Okay, so this video is probably not going to be too long, although I've said that about pretty much every script I've written the past 2 months, but I really need to get this idea out there, especially considering that A, I've never heard anyone else mention it, B, there's even more controversy regarding ScarJo as of late, and C, I haven't put out an analytical video in over 2 weeks because I'm sitting on this massive sun and moon analysis that I finally got recorded a couple days ago. So the live-action Ghost in the Shell movie was a modest success overall that had most audiences split on whether they thought it was terrible or mostly okay. And of course there was the massive controversy surrounding the casting of Scarlett Johansson, a white actress, as Motoko Kusanagi, a Japanese character, and how this was supposedly an attempt to whitewash the role for an American audience. But I ain't here to talk about whether whitewashing is good or bad overall. I ain't even here to point out that literally no other modern actress could have sold a $100 million action movie on name alone besides ScarJo, which was exceedingly important considering that every movie prior to this one that marketed itself as an adaptation of an anime has been pure garbage, and thus this film already had a negative public perception before it even premiered, thus further necessitating the need for an A-list actress regardless of whether she's the right person for the role. Oh, I guess I did explain that part. Anyway, so the movie came out, it got mixed reviews, and no one ever thought about it again. Except for me, because even though a lot of it was just a slightly above average action thriller filled with tired tropes I saw coming a mile away, the film did do one thing that I found legitimately clever and interesting. And this concept actually relies on the whitewashing itself. If you decided to skip over this movie because you had better things to do with your time, then congratulations, you were mostly right, but here's a very brief plot summary. The film stars Scarlett Johansson as Major Mira Killian, an augmented human whose mind has been successfully transferred into a completely robotic body, and now works as a member of a counterterrorism unit. However, as the film proceeds, we eventually learn that Killian is not who she believes she is at all. She is in fact a young Japanese girl named Motoko Kusanagi, who was kidnapped by Hanka Robotics, the company that created her artificial body, and was used as a test subject to see if they could merge a human mind with an entirely robotic shell, and then altered her memory to try and erase the existence of Motoko completely. It is only after she accepts her true identity that she is able to fight back and prevail against Hanka Robotics for this perversion of her mind. In this instance, the whitewashing is not just an external production force necessitated by the paltry state of modern action films, it's actually a tool for thematic exploration and character development. It wasn't just the Motoko of the Ghost in the Shell franchise that was whitewashed, this specific iteration of Motoko was whitewashed in-universe. It is literally part of the story, and better yet, it actually has something to do with cyberpunk. The term cyberpunk has unfortunately lost a lot of its meaning and intention over the years, especially as the information age continues to bring us closer and closer to what cyberpunk authors were originally writing about, but one of the core tenets of cyberpunk, as stated by author Bruce Sterling, is to show that there are, quote, no sacred boundaries to protect us from ourselves, end quote. And while the film kinda gets the last 2 words wrong because no fucking way it was gonna be smart enough for actual cyberpunk, identity erasure has been a primary subject and concern of cyberpunk for quite a while. Even the parts of ourselves that we consider most essential and sacred can be overwritten in the right circumstances with the right technology, so I gotta give it props for at least getting that part right. So yeah, whitewashing can actually have a thematic purpose. Okay, I'm not really sure how to end this video, and I put off editing this mammoth of a project so I can put this out, so I'm gonna go back to doing that now. Special thanks to Jan Rogalski, Rourke Tanjoin, Christine Seibert, and all my other patrons for their generous support. My name is Ember, and I'll see you next time.